We are live. This is the Montana Legends podcast, where we cover all things Montana. I'm your host, Will Gold. I've got with you also, who may be a host, my mom, and the president of our company, Katie Bodecker. So, as our inaugural episode here, I am going to be interviewing my mom, and so let's get into it.
I'm scared.
Where do you want to start?
At the beginning.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a Great Falls girl initially.
Yeah, born in Great Falls and lived there until I was through junior high, and then I moved to Highwood, Montana. Woo, class of 81, Highwood Mountaineers.
Okay, and I don't want to jump to the conclusion, but you were kind of a tough cookie back in old Great Falls.
I wasn't, but they thought I was. The kids on the lower north side thought I was tough because I was tall. I was as tall as I am now, 5'2" in the 6th grade. So all the kids thought I was tough, but I was just tall. I never grew another inch, to be clear. I'm now still 5'2".
Did you have the same attitude and character that you have now, or?
I don't know. I think life has a way of changing your attitudes and shaping your character over time. So I would like to think I've grown, but I loved Highwood. Highwood was one of the best things that happened to me. I made the best friends in my life from that time that are still my best friends today. I've made good friends along the way and continue to make good friends, but you know, it's hard to beat those lifetime good friends.
Yeah. Highwood is it on the High Line?
No, it's right outside of Great Falls.
It's right outside of Great Falls.
Yeah, the Highwood Mountains.
So you went to Highwood School, and then you went to Showdown.
No, I went to college.
And then you went to college. So we're really covering everything.
Yeah, what you said. What do you want to cover?
Okay.
Yeah, went to, worked at Showdown off and on, obviously, throughout my life, and have had lots of interesting jobs and done lots of fun things, and yeah, here we are.
Okay, well, cool. Well,
you
let's
want to know about my favorite job?
Yeah.
One of my favorite jobs was when I was in my early 20s. I worked at Herberger's in Great Falls with Marcia Hosevar, and we did displays. And so the only job we had was to dress the mannequins and set up little vignettes that told stories, around certain clothing that the store wanted to sell. And Marcia and I had, it was the most fun I've ever had on a job. I've never laughed more on a job. And just that creative fun, like setting up those displays and taking the mannequins apart. And it was a really fun job.
That's funny.
Yeah. I've had a lot of great jobs and jobs I love, but that was the job I had the most fun on.
I'm sure. Matching clothes and picking out the right outfits.
And Marcia Hosevar is just a hoot.
And you can grab the mannequins and you're like, oh, come buy the clothes I'm wearing. Come in here. You can work their arms and be like, get in here and buy these clothes off of my mannequin body.
You're scaring me right now, but yeah, we didn't do that. But we did laugh a lot and we had a lot of fun.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that?
In my early 20s, so I'd say 23, 24, 25, kind of there, right before I married your dad.
Those are some wild years.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that wild. It was just fun.
Yeah, because I know that one of your favorite things to do was use fake names out at the bars and.
Well, that was my early 20s or late teens even. My sister Jamie and I, not so much in Bozeman when we lived there or, anywhere in Montana because people knew us. But when we would go to other cities, I was Quinn and Jamie was Zoe. And we would go hang out and use fake names. It was just our alter ID, alter.
Until you get caught.
We did get caught. Pretty seriously, Woods. We moved to Denver and we didn't plan to hang out with these people. We thought we'll go in, we'll just hit this bar and then we'll find another bar. we'll have fun but we went to this one bar and then ended up having like really great time. We told them our names were Quinn and Zoe. They loved us. We ended up going back. Like, that kind of became our bar, but they kept calling us Quinn and Zoe. And we didn't know. They're long gone.
Is there something about making that alter ego that sort of sets you free?
I don't know. I guess it's like, it's like a chance to be Quinn.
You get one lie through, and the next thing you know, you're this
Quinn.
Russian undercover
agent
who sells
mostly
Teflon.
The funny story that happened was Jamie and I went to the bar with our friends that still thought we had the names Quinn and Zoe, which was just really
Wait, were you
awkward.
Quinn or Zoe?
I'm Quinn.
Of course.
Jamie Zoe. But it was really getting awkward, and because we kept calling each other Jamie and Katie, like, and they'd be like confused, But we really stuck with it. I don't know. We doubled down hard on it, and but we went into the bar one night with a bunch of girls, and as we were walking, there they are. I'm just going to keep telling my story. As we were walking down the hall, Jamie and I were looking on the wall, and there was all these like signs on the wall that were like, the Doctors were playing, and the Doctors was this band in Denver, or actually the Doctors were a band from Bozeman, and Jamie and I were like, that can't be the same Doctors that we like listened to in Bozeman. And then we came around the corner, and sure enough, like up on stage were our friends that were in this band from Bozeman, and they were playing in this bar in Denver. And Jamie and I just, oh Lord, we just were like, oh no. And they're like, from the stage, like immediately they saw us, and they were just like, Jamie, Katie, wow, we got friends in the house from Bozeman, Montana. And oh my God. And everybody was looking at us like, who's Jamie and Katie? And then we're just like, it's us. It's us. We stupidly used fake names and got stuck. And it was actually really freeing and really funny. And we're still friends with those guys today. I mean, it was just funny. Yeah.
Was anybody like a little put off? Like, that's kind of like scary.
I don't think so, because it was the time.
It was a time. It was a big
like
city
early
feel.
80s. It was early 80s. It was just a fun like party time. Like it kind of suited us, like our personalities, and
big hair
at the time. Zebra leggings,
high heel shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking cigarettes,
rock and roll,
while they were still good for you.
Rock and roll was here to stay.
Rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I miss those times.
Yeah, right.
I was born in the wrong era.
Yes, you were.
Just kidding.
A lot of people were.
No.
It was a great time.
Yeah. You could get away with a lot of stuff before smartphones.
Oh my God. There was a lot of freedom in that. I can't even imagine how we functioned. Like, how did we meet our friends? Like, we must have, like, phoned them on a landline, like, dialed them up, and then, like, hello, you guys want to meet at the bar at 5?
Okay, when the sun is at, like, a certain point, let's all get together.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
No, it was, I mean, when I look back at, like, communication, it just blows my mind how we, like, did everything. But we do as much as you do. We just didn't have phones in our hands all the time.
Where were you for headbanging?
Not.
You weren't a headbanger?
No.
Are you going to headbang on the show today?
No, it gave me a headache.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Not my style. Way too cute for that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So, you have kids, right?
As a matter of fact, I do. I have my oldest daughter, Avery, is 33, and then I have twin boys, one of which is you, and your twin, George, and then my youngest son, Bridger, is 24. 25?
Somewhere around there,
No,
maybe
24.
28.
No, 24.
Somewhere between 24 and
He'll
28.
be 25 on his next birthday. He and Annika live in Boise, Idaho, and he's studying cybersecurity at Boise State.
And if you see him from behind, he looks like an 80-year-old woman. With his bob cut
We're
and his
super proud of
silky
him.
pants and his cardigans.
He's got his own style. You can't hold back the tide. He's a cool kid.
But we could rip on Bridger all day.
Yeah.
Let's
or move to Herschel.
Yeah. Let's talk. Let's try to find something that Montanans might find some value in from this conversation. You're a businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
You own Showdown Ski Area.
Mm-hmm.
You own the Edith Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have very strong a management style.
Fair. Hi guys.
How's it going?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, is it working okay?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, that's fair.
So
Strong
you've got a
management
lot of
style.
you've got a lot of strong beliefs, a lot of strong opinions. We don't need to turn over every rock today.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think you'd like to share to maybe a young woman out there who is aspiring to take over the world, or at least a small piece of Montana?
I think the most important thing that I often share when I'm asked that question is that the most important thing is to be yourself and to really be square with who you are, not try to hide parts of yourself. I mean, it's really easy to do. We get embarrassed and ashamed about pieces of ourselves, but if you can kind of own that whole thing and step into the fullness of who you are and go into business that way, I think you have a great chance of success.
As opposed to maybe letting some things hold you back.
Well, I think more like doing what you think you need to do or being who you think you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
The most important gift you have is to be yourself. And people that aren't going to accept that and aren't going to stand by you when you are yourself aren't your people. They're not right for you. You need to, and the people that are going to line up in droves to support you as you move forward. So it's just, it's a great way to know who your real friends are.
So I guess let me just really ask you here, what are some ways that we can really be ourselves? And how can we get to know ourselves, and how can we resonate with ourselves? And
I think that's a great question. I think that there's always that feeling like checking in, and not checking in here or here, but kind of here with things. And when we say things that are true for us, you feel it. And when you say things that are out of alignment with who you are, you feel that as well. And I would say this type of growth isn't a linear path. It's, it's like the cha-cha. It's like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 5 steps forward. Growth is messy, and this kind of growth in personal development where you're being true to yourself is a work in progress for most people. You change and grow as you go through life, and just being comfortable with who you are is the nicest thing you can do for yourself. But you have to be willing to take it all. The good, the bad, the ugly,
Yeah, so maybe not judge yourself as much. Be okay with
I'd say that's 100%. Not be okay with making mistakes. Be okay with that other people might judge you, but that doesn't make them right. And be okay with I would say checking in with yourself. A big thing we do and we train a lot about here, as you know, is how you talk to yourself. What is that voice in your head saying to yourself? I mean, that's the inner. If you want to know if you love yourself or not, listen to how you talk to yourself. And if that voice is mostly supportive and your biggest cheerleader and your biggest fan, then I'd say you're on the right path. If that voice is dumbing you down, wanting you to play small, telling you you're not good enough, telling you you don't look right, or you don't sound right, or don't say that, you're going to sound stupid, then I think it's not your best friend, and you need to intentionally work hard and reprogram that voice until it is the voice of your best friend.
Yeah, I think like you're saying, be authentic. I think having a certain level of self-peace or self-love, or where you have the calmness and maybe the peace. So you're saying to achieve, you sort of need to have a fire within you, and be passionate and be pumped up, or...
No, not necessarily. I think that some people do, and some I don't think. I mean, I certainly have passion projects and things that I'm excited about and pursuing on, as you know, we're pursuing business on multiple levels here in our family and as a team. We're pursuing personal projects and team projects and company-wide projects, and we're pursuing business on every level. And the projects that are like near and dearest to my heart are the personal projects. You know, the team projects are fun and exciting, and I love to see what we all accomplish together. But I've got a screenplay I've written for a movie. I've got a 3 or 5 season TV show, and I put those are like my stories. Where you're telling your stories about your life, and I think those are like things that are nearest and dearest to my heart. And we're finally getting like some doors are opening and traction is happening in an arena we just don't know much about.
So, along those same lines, you've, just to plug our own business here, like you do so much for other people. You do so much for your employees. You go the extra mile for your customers all the time. You're ambitious. You're breaking stereotypes. What's in it for you? Why do you do it?
I guess I don't know why I wouldn't. Like, why wouldn't I? I mean, I feel like it's, it just feels like my path forward. Like, I guess I don't see any other way. And it was, like finding my way back to Showdown, at the time that I did it all just worked out, and things lined up, and it's continues to be a blessing and open doors to other things. And I mean, the greatest joy I have, I get more back than I give. And so why would I, it's like I don't give to get back, but I get more back. I get back tenfold what I give. And I don't have any strings attached to giving. If we can help, we help. And if we can't, we say so. And it just continues to reap like untold benefits for our business and our employees and our company. And so that generous mindset is, I think, really just part of who I am and part of who Showdown has always been. Kind of how my dad, he might probably run things quite the same way we run things, but he was a very generous he is a very generous person, and a good person, and people love him. And we're just continuing that legacy in our own way. And I know what it's like to have your back against the wall and not have people help you. And we're never going to be that. We're always going to help when we can. And we don't expect to be paid back. If we help financially, we don't make loans. We give gifts if we can, and otherwise we don't. And we don't want to set up a situation where someone is like beholden to us in that way. They're a part of our family. They're a part of our team. They're important. And if we can help, we do.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think I've seen, I think what sets you apart is your fearlessness, and the way you're able to follow your heart, and the way you're able to be brave and take on big challenges. And I mean, I really think that's what makes you special. If you had any advice for someone who's maybe should think bigger, should do more, should be, who want some, we all want to be more, but like along those lines, what would you have to say to somebody?
I think the main thing is, and it's something I wish that everyone would get a lot sooner than I got it, is that it's okay to be afraid. It is. Like, I have fears. We do bold stuff here all the time, and half of it's like, what the heck are we doing? But it's like we do it anyway. And that's the it's a simple secret, but we just do it anyway. Everything that when I went to Romania to work for a tech company, 3 days after I got the job, I didn't even know where Romania was on the map, but I got on the plane and went anyway. I didn't know what to expect when I got there. Like, you just, once you face fears and do them anyway, in spite of being afraid, you learn that, like, that's kind of the secret sauce, like, it's okay to have the fear. You're just gonna do it anyway. You're gonna push past it. And there's lots of things that applies to in life. It's just a lesson that I wished I let fear stop me from doing a lot in my life at a younger age. And I wish that all the stuff we're doing now, I wished I'd done it at a younger age. Yeah. But it's fun to do it now with you guys. And maybe it's the perfect time.
It is the perfect
time.
And
I honestly feel like, I'm in my 60s, and a lot of my friends are planning their retirement. And I'm like, there's a few of us that aren't. Like my friend, Diane Granger from Highwood. She's like, what would I do with retirement? I don't want to retire. And I feel the same way. Like, it's like, I'm just, what next? What challenge? We're building something here that's really cool. And we're building a little bit of a empire for our family, and hopefully all of the people that are on board with us. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And it feels like the perfect time for me. And I feel like my life is half over. I mean, I plan to live well into my 120s, 130s, and healthy and well, and so I'm like midlife.
Well, I would just like to commend you on growing our community, growing our culture. Our employees have become our friends and our family, and growing with them and going to work with them, and it's really special. And we've got to meet a lot of really special people as we've all followed you and gotten behind you, and I'm obviously right there with you, but I just, you are the leader of our company, and you are the one who keeps people around, and you see the light in people, and you see potential in people, and I don't think there's anybody better at getting the most out of people than you. One of the things I know, you buy into people, you get to know them, and you ask a lot out of them, but it's usually something that's aligned with their journey and their path, and I know that you've built a life for yourself, but also for many others, and we all enjoy being a part of the culture that you are setting and leading.
It's great to be interviewed by your kid.
I'm on the payroll.
Yeah, they're your biggest fans. He's like, wow, this is great. It's like a cheerleading thing, like your biggest fans are interviewing you. But yeah, I appreciate all that. I just think like the culture and the things that we're building, the vision and the direction, the initial direction comes from me, but it's all of us as a team that make it work. And it's every single one of us, including, you, AJ, Avery, Ricky, George, Bridger when he's home. The whole crew, like, buys into it and gets behind it and really makes it happen. I shouldn't even start naming names because we got Jimmy, Jesse, Jay,
and now people
Nicole,
pick up on
Amy.
it right away, and they want to be a part of our culture and our community, and we like growing and stuff. I think we really nailed a lot of this philosophical stuff.
Philosophical? That's a good one.
Philosophical?
Popsicle.
Philosophical. But let's jump into some, let's just try to talk some meat and bones, ski industry, hotel industry. Let's try to give people a look into what we know about Montana, about white sulfur, about the ski industry in Montana, the hotel industry in Montana. Let's so we average 50,000 skier visits a year.
Well, about 60 now.
60,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
For a small, we're really a micro area as far as ski areas go. I mean, we are in the classification of a small ski area, but most small ski areas have like 250,000 or 150,000 skier visits. So at 60,000, we're really a micro area. We would be a mom and pop ski area, but we're a mom and kid ski area. And that's rare. There's I don't know that there's any other ski areas in the world that are owned and operated by a mom and her kids. it's rare for women to own and operate ski areas. There's women that own ski areas, and there's women that operate ski areas, a lot of them, a lot of really great managers. But rarely, and I think one or two cases, do they own and operate the mountain. So that's unusual.
So, would you say that there's more people skiing every year?
Well, there sure has been since COVID. Yeah, and that's a industry wide, acceptance.
Montana wide,
Montana wide, industry wide, countrywide.
people are going skiing.
People are going skiing, and I think it really had to do with people telling us we couldn't, and people telling us we don't like to be told we can't do something. People came out in full force the last couple seasons after COVID, and I think that trend has plateaued a little bit. It was like this, and now I think we're like this, but it certainly hasn't declined. People have rediscovered how much fun it is to get outside in the winter and have fun with their friends and family and ski or slide down the mountain, however they do it. And yeah, I think it's a resurgence in the industry that is hard to, we'll enjoy for quite some time.
So, just to keep moving, our main market is Great Falls.
Central Montana.
Maybe could you explain our market and the people who come skiing here at Showdown a little bit, please?
Sure. Central Montana is probably off the radar for a lot of people, which is cool. And I would say that Bozeman area certainly developed, obviously one of the most, fastest growing markets that there is. There's Missoula, and that whole western tier of Montana is also full of people. I think the majority of the population lives in that western corridor down and then across over to Bozeman and to Billings. So when you get up into central Montana, you really leave a lot of that behind. And we're really on the eastern slope of the Rocky Mountain front where the plains, the mountains hit the plains and out. And it's a spectacular area. It's full of ranches and farmland, and Great Falls would be our primary market. Has Malmstrom Air Force Base, and Great Falls is growing and changing, as is Helena, but at a much slower pace, obviously, than the Missoula, Bozeman areas. And our clientele tends to be more of blue collar workers, and a wealthy person in central Montana is probably a mid income person in Bozeman or Missoula. We just are probably more moderate in our lifestyle, a little more less affluent, but certainly love to get out and do things that we enjoy. And Showdown works really hard to remain affordable for people in central Montana. So we offer amazing points of entry that get families skiing, and we are committed to that. It's our religion. No one is turned away at Showdown because they can't afford to pay, and we mean that. So if you're you just call and we work it out and we take care of you. Like, we don't care. We're really committed to what we do, and we do it for the right reasons, and we manage to make some money in the process in spite of that. So
super cool. Yeah, I definitely am also proud of the customers we serve. This lodge will be packed elbow to elbow on certain days, and everybody we don't have any issues. People are always happy to be here. People never complain.
I don't know what we feel so. It's crazy how nice the people are that ski at Showdown. And I say all the time, and the nicest people in the world ski at Showdown, and I mean it. Like, it is like crazy how good they are and how kind and how good they are to this mountain and us and our team. They support us. They're not, it's not we did this and you did that, and it's just like we are all on the same team. It's we have busy days, and you think our regular customers would be like, where are all these people coming from? But they are so gracious and kind and welcoming, and they support us while we're going for it, and they're like cheering us on, and this is great, and they get it. Like, for us to offer the ticket prices that we do, the season pass rates that we offer, it's a volume game. It's a numbers game. if we are going to keep being able to offer a $2.99 pass in the spring, we have to have a lot of people buy those, and then a lot of people still come up and use them and buy the cheeseburgers and the beer and the other stuff, and that's how we make our money. That's the business model. And if they think that we can have a really inexpensive pass and no one in the lodge, that's not a sustainable business model. And I think they're smart. They get that, and they're willing to make the sacrifice to share their tables and be kind and be gracious. Like, it's just crazy. And I don't hear that a lot from other ski areas. The nicest people in the world ski here, and I don't know why, but we're just damn lucky.
Certainly something to be proud of, Katie Bodecker.
Yeah, I don't get any credit for that. They get the credit for that. but we're just blessed, and we're lucky, and we have a lot of fun, and we do, like, we're in a fun business, and I know that. And even the hotel has done really well. The Edith, we took a little hotel in White Sulphur that had good bones, but really had kind of lost its identity over the years, and redid it from front to back, and people love it.
Love it. So for our listeners, could you touch on the growth of White Sulphur Springs, what you're seeing as far as tourism or housing, or just sort of could you touch on just sort of what's going on in White Sulphur Springs, just for...
Sure. So, White Sulphur Springs for a long time was one of the poorest socioeconomic counties in the country. When the timber industry and the mills pulled out basically overnight, the economy collapsed, and it went from being a pretty thriving little town and community to one of the, just truly the poorest socioeconomic county in the country. It was a depressing community. It was just not fun to stop in necessarily. Not a vibrant sense of identity. And I would say beginning with Sarah Calhoun and Red Ant's Pants, but also probably the talk of a mine and the mine opening, or that this another extraction industry was going to come in and somehow save the economy, probably bolstered the optimism. But people invested in the community, like Kimberly and her girls with Bar 47 and the Jawbone. Lots of businesses, Mark and Steph at Stockman and Barry and Chris at 3 Bassett, or 2 Bassett, however many Bassets they have. And all of them, Stage Line Pizza and everybody on Main Street. And I always hate to even start mentioning names, Lane and Josh at the Lane and what they did. And everybody just started reinvesting in downtown and the business and turned things around. And it's a thriving, fun little place to visit. We get a ton of getaway folks from Great Falls, Helena, Bozeman, Billings. Lewistown is huge. They love to come to Showdown, love to come to White Sulphur. Like, it's a great little getaway spot overnight with the spa and the hot spring hotel, and everything that Jean and Annie have done there is just really nice. And a lot of people have just reinvested in the town. And so it's in a really good place as we move forward. I tend to be, I'm not pro mine. I'm not pro this mine. I'm 100% pro mining. I'm a hypocrite. My family has a mining background and heritage in mining in the state. And I use my cell phone full of copper and all of that, and very pro mining. I'm not pro this mine on the Smith River. I think the real gold and the real long-term asset for our economy is tourism and farming and ranching, and anything that is going to risk that beautiful trout fishery that is a unique experience unlike any other, 63 miles from the public put in to the public takeout. We just don't have very many experiences like that left in the world. And I don't think it's worth the risk. I believe the best people are involved in this mine. They're my friends. I serve on the stewardship council. I get it. I understand everything they're doing. We just don't know what we don't know. And I think there's been a lot of good people in the past that started mines that had no idea where that mine was headed and what would happen, and the extent of what would happen, the damage from it. I think they all went into it with good intentions, a lot of them, not all of them. But in this case, they have the best intentions, and I still am nervous, you know. There's just not enough, it's not worth the risk. The Smith River is too special.
It is definitely it's a special river. It's beautiful. It's everything you could want in a river. You know, I love telling people when they ask me where I'm from, and I say White Sulphur Springs. I usually get one of two reactions. One is, "Oh my God, you're so lucky. How did you get to live in that little slice of heaven?" And then the other one is, "Wow, I'm not allowed in that county. The guys, like, I keep getting in fights there." Sort of that rough past will pop up with some more interesting
Probably
people.
your friend.
Whenever you want to buy a gun, don't tell them you're from White Sulphur.
Wow. Right there. Okay. Well, White Sulphur, you know, you can't stop people from being who they are. And it is a colorful community, and there's a lot of characters there, and a lot of great families and a lot of cool people, and I love it. I really love the town. I love everything we do down there. We're very proud to be, you know, associated with White Sulphur, both having a business in town and Showdown nearby. And I see a lot of positive things in the future. I would say at this point for myself, you know, the mine issue appears to have been settled and appears to be moving forward. My involvement in the Mark County Stewardship from the beginning has been to hold the mine accountable to all the promises that they've made. And that's my reason for being on that council. The first thing we did was we got a ban in place on open pit mining that travels with the sale of the mine, so that no one could ever try to put a ban in on, or put an open pit mine in. That helps us mitigate those environmental consequences somewhat. But from here forward, you know, it's just trying to put in place a community benefits agreement that really ties the mine into really moving the needle in our community in meaningful ways, so that long term we benefit. I would like to see us grow the economy and attract industry to town that isn't an extraction industry, that's not a hit it and quit it, come in, even if it's 10, 15, 25, 30 years, at some point they all leave. And if the economy isn't built on other things, like a great manufacturing company or a tech company, or, you know, any of the multitude of businesses we could attract, then we'll find ourselves back in the same position. People will be upside down in their houses. There won't be sustainable economy to support the income level that people have gotten used to, and we'll end up in a depressed economy again. So I'm there to try to make sure we're building up the economy at the same time, and then maybe in the future that will protect us from chasing every you know, high dollar thing that's dangled out there in front of us that may not be in our best interest long term as a county. So that's my goal.
Love it. I think I love your you fight for what you believe in, and you're not swayed by what everyone else is doing. And
Yeah, it's not easy. I don't think I honestly don't. I know there's people in town and in the county that are not pro mine. They're just not as open about it as I am. It's hard to be like the only one. But luckily, I mean, I still have people buy me a whiskey in the bar, and like I'm not shunned by the community. They still love me. So
yeah.
But I think I love the town, and they know that, and I love the county, and we show up, and we have a stake in the ground. So
Well, we sure do, and I think that's really good. I hope people enjoy hearing about our town and some of the issues we're up against. And boy, gosh, I think we should wrap it up there. What do you think?
let me think. Is there anything else? Well, it's like what could we possibly talk about for 30 minutes? And here we are. We talked about a lot. No, I think it's great. I think this podcast, I'm excited about Montana Legends. It'll be fun to see who we bring on in the next year or so, and the voices we get to hear, and a myriad of people at different places and points in their lives. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have other podcasts we're starting at the same time. And yeah, it's just going to be cool to open these kind of conversations on top of a mountain in central Montana.
You know, the point of this podcast is to be fun and interesting for Montanans.
And lighthearted. And
fun
we take
for
ourselves
us,
serious,
and
but not too serious.
We're excited.
Yeah.
Excited to get some of the voices out there and help maybe find some problems facing the state and help find some solutions. And I'm really curious to see who is crazy enough to come on this podcast.
I think you've already got quite a few people lined up, but yeah, it'll be fun I'm just excited. And anybody that is got any ideas, send them up, and we'll do our best to get them on the air for you.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Katie Bodecker,
right.
aka Mom.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, everybody.